Hi, English FAL learners. Today we are going to do a lesson on how to write a summary, how to summarize, and then quickly I'm going to take you through the things that one needs to adhere to or to be mindful of when writing a summary. And like I've said in my previous lessons, that summary for me, it's one of those sections in paper one where you must get 10 out of 10 because the answers that you need, if not the points that you need, are actually already in the question paper. What you need to practice, and summary writing is a skill that needs to be sharpened by through practicing. So you need to practice as often as you can, and do use previous question papers, all right? And without necessarily going to the memorandum, do a summary by yourself first. Right, remember that it is important to apply both methods of reading I'm actually talking about scanning and skimming. Apply both of them when reading a text, meaning that you read to understand, you also read to seek to only highlight the main points that you are going to use. Okay, first make sure that you understand what the text talks about, and then most importantly know that a summary must be a shorter version of the original text, but however, a summary must not deviate now from the original text. Don't change the sentence in such a way that it no longer says the same thing from what is said in the original text. Ensure that you still sustain the same ideas from the original text, but however, in this now you'll be using your own words. Okay, it is important to use your own words. Please do not use quotation in a summary. Don't quote sentences the way they are or points the way they are from the original text. That is why the examiner will always say use your own words. There's a reason for that. Remember that 7 marks, you get 7 marks for 7 points. And if all the 7 points are correct, that means that you get 3 marks for language. That's how you get a total when writing a summary. A summary must be a shorter version. And then these are things that you're not going to do, you're not supposed to do when writing a summary. When you summarize, you're not supposed to explain. Don't give examples. Because once you offer an example, it's similar to explanation. Do not explain. Avoid the use of conjunctions, because conjunctions are merely used to combine two ideas or two phrases. Once you start using conjunctions, you will be it will force you to explain. For an example, if you use the word and, it means you're going to come up with another sentence. If you use the word because, once you state something and you say because, it means immediately after because you are going to do what? You are going to give an explanation. That means you are going to have longer sentences unnecessary, and that is no longer a summary. Do not explain, do not use conjunctions, do not quote, use your own words, okay? And then please adhere to the required number of words, because we do count before marking. A summary says that summarizing 7 points. How many points? 70. Here it is. You summarize in 7 points with what? 70. Each and every summary in a question paper has an instruction. This is our instruction. In this comprehension, in this text, what you are supposed to summarize, we are supposed to summarize 7 ways to reduce eye strain, okay? So it means in all the sentences that you are going to read, you are only going to concentrate on ways that shows us, or sentences that give us an idea or ways on how to reduce eye strain. Anything that does not show us how to reduce eye strain, we cannot use it as a summary point, okay? And then avoid repetition of ideas. They want 7 points. In most cases, you can the passage will have more than 7 points. It means that you are spoiled for choice. So there's no way that you can repeat a point, because once you repeat a point, you're not going to get the 3 marks for language. So please ensure that you have 7 points that do not repeat themselves. And then again, what is important, the best way that you can do to avoid, or this is what you can do to avoid repetition. When you start to summarize, don't start using points from the last paragraph. Start with the first paragraph, second, third, and so forth until the last paragraph. Then you underline all the main points that you're going to use to write your summary. Make sure that you underline them, and then after underlining them, now you change them. Now, here comes the tricky part, changing them. I know that it sounds very easy when I say it, and I know it's difficult. Hence, I advise you to practice and practice. Take as many summaries as you can and then practice them. But this is what I'm going to teach you today. When you write a summary, use synonym, okay? Remember that synonym are words that mean the same, but they are written differently. If I say she's a teacher, I can say she's an educator. I've substituted teacher with educator, and the sentences, both sentences, they still say the same thing. So that's what you're going to do. Again, you can change word order. She is late today. I can say today she is late. She is late today. Today she is late. I've changed the other one by playing around with word order. Okay. You use synonyms, you play around with word order, you do not explain in a summary, you do not quote, you don't give out examples. Okay, now let us check this. Is a 2017 question paper. We are going to look for ways that reduce eye strain. Okay, I've already highlighted the points to save time and to make the lesson more, just to be easier for me to go straight to the point. I've already highlighted the points that we're going to use. Every time when you underline in a question paper points that you're going to use, ask yourself this question: does this point answer the instruction? The instruction here is that we need ways on how to reduce eye strain. Okay, when I read the first one, the first paragraph, it says that we live in digital screen heavy age where most of our time is spent in front of a screen. Over reliance on screen could cause eye strain. Just as we wear sunglasses to protect our eyes from sunlight, we need to take the same level of care to protect our eyes from screen heavy world. This is just an explanation to me. They're just explaining and why do we need to protect our eyes, but it does not show how to protect our eyes or how to protect our eyes from eye strain. It doesn't show. But when I get to the second paragraph, it says it is important to look away from the screen at regular intervals. Now, this is the point that shows us how to avoid eye strain. It says that you must look away from the screen at regular intervals. So I've highlighted that one. We are going to use this point to write a summary. And then the second one, it says that you must also make a conscious effort to blink more often to keep your eyes moist. Again, it's a point that shows us how to avoid eye strain. It's that we must blink more often. These are things that one needs to do to avoid eye strain. The passage says that we must make a conscious effort to do what? To blink more often. Now, if you can see, all the things that I have not highlighted, it means that they are not valid points because they don't show us how to avoid eye strain. You get it? That's what you talk about, valid and invalid material. Invalid material are all the points that are there in the passage, but they do not answer the instruction. Valid material, it will be all the points that are here, and then they do answer the instruction. Let us move on. They said says that it is good to keep exercising your eyes by moving them from side to side. It's a point that also can be that can also be used. And so furthermore, they say that make sure you also keep fit and active by spending time outdoors. I've highlighted that one is the point that can be used. Eye strain is often caused by excessive bright light. Ensure that curtains or blinds are closed. You see, the first part, I did not underline this sentence because it's just explaining to me. It does not show me what is that I need to do to avoid eye strain. But the second sentence, that I must ensure that curtains or blinds are closed. So I will highlight that one because it shows me rather how to avoid eye strain. Moving further along, remember we only need 7. They say that you should also check your screen's light intensity, ensuring that it is as bright as your surroundings. This is a valid point because it gives us an idea. It shows us how to avoid eye strain. They say that we must check the light intensity and we must ensure that the light intensity is as bright as our surroundings. And I also jumped to this one and I went to the last one to say, having regular eye tests will help you to identify problems before they become major. Right, now you have highlighted the main points. You have highlighted or underlined them in the question paper. Now the work begins. Summarize in your own words. The first one, it is important to look away from the screen at regular intervals. I will say that ensure that you look away from the screen often. Ensure that you look away from the screen often. What have I changed here? Instead of saying it is important, I said what? Ensure to look away from the screen. Instead of saying regular intervals, I said what? Often. Or you can say regularly. Okay. See that I've changed only 1 or 2. I've omitted only 1 or 2 words and then I kept the sentence as it is because I don't want to lose the meaning. Right, let us move along. We have that will be our first point. Second point, make a conscious effort to blink more often to keep your eye moist. Make a conscious effort is not important for me. What is important is to blink more to keep your eye moist. So this will be my own words. To keep your eye moist, blink regularly. To keep your eye moist, blink regularly. What have I done? I've played around with word order because the original sentence that to make you must blink more often to keep your eye moist. Now what I've said is that to keep your eye moist, blink regularly. So I've substituted to blink more, the word more with what regularly, because regularly means what? More. And then I've started with to keep your eye moist. In this sentence, I've played around with word order. That's another skill that you can practice. It is good to keep exercising your eyes by moving them from side to side, up and down, and in circles. A very long sentence. It's a very lengthy sentence. You cannot take it the way it is as a summary. You need to shorten this sentence. I will say the first thing that we need to do away is this. It is good to keep exercising. Let us start from exercising, okay? I will say that ensure to exercise your eyes by moving them, okay? Ensure to exercise your eyes by moving them, full stop. And then the part that says you move them side by side, up and down, is just an explanation. How are you going to exercise them? You are going to exercise them by moving them side by side and so forth. So in a summary, we are not going to include the explanation part. What is important that we need to know is that to ensure that you exercise your eyes by moving them. All right. The original sentence says it is good to keep. I said ensure. Instead of saying it is good, I say ensure to exercise. And then in the original sentence, they say keep exercising. That is a present continuous tense, okay? I say ensure to exercise, present tense. I've converted that into my own words. Simple. Ensure to exercise your eyes by moving them. Full stop. As to how your eyes should move, we'll take the original text here. We are summarizing, okay? And another point, make sure you also keep fit and active by spending time outdoors. We are talking about eyes, we are not talking about fitness. So the part that talks about ensure that you keep your whatever fit and active, I would say the most important part in the sentence is to spend time outdoors. I would say spend more time outdoors. I've added the word more because the sentence is already short, okay? Spend more time outdoors. The second, and then another one, which will be our fifth one, ensure that curtains or blinds are closed. The sentence is already short, okay? We'll say, instead of saying ensure, I will say make sure. Make sure that curtains or blinds are closed. Okay? I've just changed one word and I kept the sentence as it is, all right? And then the last one says that having a regular eye test will help you identify problems before they become major. So it's a long sentence. It includes an explanation as well. Having regular eye tests will help to identify problems before they become major. What is important in this sentence is to have a regular eye test. So I would say it is important to go for an eye test often. Or I can simply say it is important to go for an eye test, or it is important to go for an, please don't say it is important to go for an eye checkup. There's a difference between checkup and eye test. So you can say it is important to go for an eye test. You see, instead of saying having regular eye tests, I would say it is important to go for an eye test. All right. So the skills that I've taught you today is that you use synonym, and then you can substitute one or two words. You do not explain in a summary. You do not use conjunctions. You do not turn, if not convert your summary into instructions. And then you will be able to nail the summary. But it needs practice, practice, and more practice. I hope this lesson was fruitful to you. Keep the wheel of education moving, especially you guys grade 12s. Download previous question papers, revise them over and over again. I will see you soon. Keep well, keep safe.